frustrates me to no end about some of the things with our education system. Can we have a chat? Because I'd like to share something with you. It's pretty personal, but I think it's pretty important. So, coming into the fitness industry in a bigger body, I thought was going to be another disaster like it was 10 years ago when I tried. And it's been completely different. I've actually found success, a lot of it too. However, it hasn't come without its struggles. And I'm not even talking about the jobs. I'm talking about the training and not the training through the facilities. I'm talking about the education that you need. So let's talk about a little bit about that, as well as starting finally at the other gym and checking and seeing how that's going. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've been having an issue. I was certified in multiple different things. A couple of them have expired, so I'm having to do these other certifications, which is not a big deal. However, I went rounds for, I think it was 6 or 7 weeks, saying I cannot schedule my exam. And that is what I need to do. I need to schedule my exam so that I can, well, first I was waiting on, I needed to re-up my CPR certification as well, because it was expired. I hadn't used it in a couple of years, so it was expired. So I had to re-up that. And so that was part of the issue. But then I got that fixed, but then I couldn't schedule my exam. And I'm like, I need to schedule my exam to be able to take the exam. So how do I do this? And I went around rounds with them for like 6 or 7 weeks going. I got through the course in like 2 weeks because it was all material that I already knew. Now I'm struggling to get through the study materials because like the quizzes and things are worded so freaking weird. It frustrates me to no end about some of the things with our education system, of like just how you would never speak or think like that in your day-to-day normal life, yet that's how they make you take tests. And it's like, this doesn't make it, which is possibly why I have an easier time explaining it to people, like teaching people. I'm definitely a teacher at heart. And because like I'm like a child, you need to talk slow and use small words with me. And so, I mean, I don't, it's not that bad, but I feel like that sometimes. And so I think that that's why the gift of teaching is like so strong in me, because I need that. So it's easy for me to do for other people. But so I'm struggling to get through the study materials, and I'm just like, oh, I hope the test isn't worded this poorly, because a lot of it I'm like, I know this, but I'm so confused by the question of how it's worded that I don't understand what's going on right now, even though I know this material. I don't know. But anyways, so that's a whole nother story. Anyways, I've been going rounds for like 6 or 7 weeks going, I need to be able to schedule my exam. I cannot do that, and I cannot move on because I want to do another certification. I want to get this over with and do my next certification, because this one is just a necessity and it's kind of a whatever. The next one is what I really want to do. And I'm just like, I need to be able to do that. So I need to be able to schedule this stinking exam. And finally, 6 or 7 weeks later, somebody finally sent me an email and was like, oh, the blah, 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 blah. And if you have pop-up blockers on, make sure you turn them off, and this is how. Are you freaking kidding me? It's all on my phone. I do everything on my phone. So, pop-ups didn't occur to me. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even know you could turn off pop-up blocker. I'm not very in touch with technology. Yeah. Make fun of me all you want. I don't care. So, I was like, 6 or 7 weeks I've been going rounds with you guys, and why are you the first person that has told me this super simple fix? That fixed it right away. I was able to get in to be able to schedule my exam. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I can get in and see all the information and do it when I need to. It'll probably be a few days, just because the study material is so wackadoo. I don't think I've ever said wackadoo. I don't know why I just did, but what does wackadoo even mean? Anyways, so today's been interesting. So I was just like, I don't understand. I don't understand why it took this long for somebody to tell me that I had to enable pop-ups. Like that was really because not one person that I had talked to in the last 6 or 7 weeks had mentioned anything about it. Not one. And I'm like, they like reset my account, so I had to reset my password and like all these like crazy things that didn't need to be done, and they did them, and it was super simple, and not one person brought it up. And it's like, it's fine that they didn't know, because how would you? And that's why troubleshooting exists. But the fact that nobody brought it up, and it was so simple, and so like, it was like the introduction email that should have been done the very first interaction that I had with somebody. Like, that's how the email was written. And so I'm just like, why is this the first time? I do not understand. This makes no sense. So that's finally all settled. So here within the next week or two, I should be able to get that one out of the way so I can start my next one. Peace, peace, peace. I'm grabbing my peace. Editor, can you put some peace in here?
One shipment of peace coming up.
Put it in my hands. Thank you. Okay, peace. All right. So I'm also at the other gym that I work at. I'm going to be starting teaching a class because there's an instructor that wants to get rid of one of her classes because she's got some issues and it's just too much for her. So I'm going to be taking over one of them. So I'm now in a place where I've kind of gotten like into the groove of things. I've kind of gotten more of a what's the word that I'm looking for? English, come back. Please?
I'm here. I think you're looking for the word flow.
I have no idea. I've got more grounding on
See, she
how
doesn't
to
even
take
listen to
member
me.
feedback.
Why do I bother?
I still want to take into account what people say, but I can't please everybody. So I'm starting to figure out how to sift through that. And so it's kind of exciting that I'm like in a better place starting this time. But it's also a little terrifying because I'm taking over somebody's class. So they're used to things a certain way. And I teach a very different, because I've taken her classes before. So I teach a very different way than she does. And I think I'm still going to have to talk a little more and see if like that's okay or if I'm going to have to change the class. Because I think if I have to change the class, I'm not going to like teaching it because I'm going to be bored. I can do it and I don't mind subbing it, but actually like teaching it, I'm like, ooh, that might be an issue. We'll see though. I think the conversations that we've had in the past have been me doing my own class and doing something similar to what I've been doing. So that's still kind of what I'm going on. So we'll see too, because sometimes people don't really like change. So we'll see if that's gonna end up being an issue. If I do what I'm normal, if I do, because I'm 5. So if I do what I normally do, then we'll see if that's gonna be an issue or if people are gonna be receptive of it. Because new instructor, new completely different class, because she's doing 3 days a week, and some of them are taking it because they need that type of class. It's more stretching and a way, way slower pace. My dance isn't super high paced because of the clientele that I work with. So I don't think it's going to be too much for them, but I'm not sure how they're going to take it. So this is going to be really interesting to kind of figure this out. And, in a couple of weeks, it's really interesting because in a couple of weeks on the exact same day, both facilities have something going on. One is Member Appreciation Day and one is Employee Appreciation Day. And so I'm going to be doing like back and forth for the 2 gyms. Not that I don't go back and forth between the 2 gyms anyways. Well, there's 3 of them because there's 2 Four Seasons and 1 Carl. But the 2 of them, one of the other Four Seasons that's by Carl, there's a lot of my classes there that I take, that I take, not teach. But then Carl, I'm there often because I'm teaching or subbing. And So I'm going to be going back and forth to these like events to like gather members together and get to know them, gather employees together and get to know them. And so it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun though, but that's not for a couple more weeks, but I can tell you about that after that happens. I think it's going to be good to get to know some more members and some more staff and just interact with more people. And I think that we're pretty well caught up. And I'm sure next vlog we're going to have so much more to talk about because I've incorporated some new routines. I'll probably have my certification or my redone by then. I might not yet. I'm not sure. We'll see on that one. Might be another week. But I'm sure I'll have lots of things to update you on. But I want you to know I believe in you. So dream big and take action. Bye.